You see like how you took a step back, right? Sometimes that's a gift and a curse. Because sometimes, you got to infiltrate the matrix in order for people to understand it. Because a lot of times, homies or neutral or you cuz, whatever it is, sometimes the good influences get tired of repeating this.
If you want it, go and get it, nigga. Stop waiting on niggas to get it for you. If you want it, then you gotta go and get it. Go and get it. If you want it, then you gotta go and get it. Go and get it. If you want it, then you gotta go and get it. Go and get it. If you want it, then you gotta go and get it. Gotta get it. If the money's right there, you gotta get it. Gotta get it. You see the plug right there, you gotta get it. Gotta get it. You see your dream right there, you gotta get it. Gotta get it. My whole team right here.
What up, man? You know what it is, man. It's your boy Q Life, street guy turned positive. You now tuned in to PBN Network, Positive Beats Negative. And you already know my slogan is grind time, no demon time. And I got my brother Mo Knowledge with me and all that, man. You know his slogan. Yo, Mo, man, let him know what your slogan is, man.
Knock, who's there, true custodian warrior. Washing up negativity is all about positivity, grind time, no demon time. Got a special guest in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We definitely do. We got a Brooklyn native in the building, Coney Allen.
Yes, sir.
Somebody that been grinding for a long time and deserves his flowers. He deserves success. He deserves a lot. He's been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? So with no further ado, man, we got our brother D.chamberz in the building, man. What's going on with you, brother?
Everything's a blessing. I'm happy for you, just like I'm happy to be here, bro.
Oh, no doubt,
One of the few that changed around. You revamped the program, and now you're back, bro, with good energy.
Definitely, man. That's always got to put that type of energy out there, man. First thing, though, that I want to get into is I want to ask you how you doing. What space are you in right now? You and your family, are you good?
Yeah,
What's your state of mind right now?
I mean, we laugh about this behind closed doors, but I think I'm one of the few that probably lasted the longest. I'm still with the same mother of my child today, after all these years. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
That's one, raising my daughters, two, being able to survive, three, you know what I mean, just naturally, because when you're an indie artist, it's not rolled out for you as easily as it is with the machine behind you.
That's a fact.
So
I love that. You know why I like the other thing? Because I ain't gonna lie, I got 4 baby mothers, man.
Jesus Christ.
You
know, across the table, they be like, one, you want more? I just hit the finish line.
But shout out to all of them, man. We good. I have no drama. You know what I'm saying? So,
everything's
I'm
a
there
blessing.
for all my kids, so it's still a blessing.
What you asked about the family, I just put it out there because,
that's
sometimes that stability and sometimes, lingering conversations lead to like destruction. That's just how I look at it. Like, we all men. Sometimes we fuck up. Sometimes we learn from our mistakes. Yeah. But like, if you can't keep repeating the same mistakes, bro.
Right. Got to go through it to get through it.
Facts.
So we're gonna get into this, man. I got some questions for you, man. And the first one is, I want you let the people know who you are, who D.chamberz is, and what is your purpose.
It took a while for me to understand my purpose, but D.chamberz, that's my real name. Okay. It's just abbreviated. Born in Harlem, raised in Brooklyn. Coney Allen, all my elementary school pictures is there from PS 188 to John Dewey so I went to South Carolina. But I think today, my spiritual advisor would say I'm a healer. You know what I mean? Because I can help somebody more than I can help myself. Like,
we just finished talking about things like that. I'm going through that too.
Because sometimes your blessings come from helping others. So like, you may come in this game to be like, yo, I'm gonna stand out, I'm gonna do this. But I realize the more I do, the more I attract certain energy, and I have to be mindful of things. I used to ignore my first thought. I don't ignore that no more. So like, a lot of times if I'm doing music, that's what I do. You know what I mean? But like, business wise, everybody knows I have no time for the Small Talk podcast. I have a Trappers Only show. Like, I have the Underground concert. I've been rocking for like over 5-6 years. That's what keeps the food on the table, whether people look at it or not. And it's not no jinky promoter stuff. I know what artists need, and I'm willing to put some money up behind the DJs, the media. I make it comfortable to make you want to be a part of it. Then whether my single's there, I'm pushing the single. If I'm helping the artist, we all in the same building. And the goal is just, stay busy, stay off the street, and somehow make something good out of this. So
y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? D.chamberz in the building, man.
Yeah, that's me, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what it do.
What was it like as a kid growing up in Coney Island? Because we know Coney Island is
the last stop in New York.
Last stop in New York. I've been to Coney Island a couple of times. I got some peoples out there, and I seen some things going on, man. But what was it like as a kid growing up?
It depends, because like me, I'm mid-late 90s. Like I was outside at a young age to see, but I probably wasn't involved. But like I came from that drug dealing era.
Okay.
Like when you seen the older guys outside with cars in the front, gold chains, and dudes is healthy. They boxing, they slap boxing, they working out. You shoot jump shots for a couple of dollars.
Yeah, you witnessed that.
I witnessed that, and I also witnessed the structure of leadership.
Okay.
Meaning, like, they didn't just let the hood run dry. You know what I mean? Like, the older dudes spoke up, like, if they didn't like something. So you knew if you did something stupid, you was going to run into.
So what do you think it is now that the older guys are not stepping up now? Are they
just like I told,
or they're not around no more? What do you think?
What? Just the same thing I was just telling you. You see, like how you took a step back, right? Sometimes that's a gift and a curse, because sometimes you got to infiltrate the matrix in order for people to understand it.
Right.
Because a lot of times, homies or neutral, or you cuz, whatever it is, sometimes the good influences get tired of repeating themselves. We know the end result.
Right.
So sometimes this game is filled with idol worshipers too. So like if you don't have that car outside, you ain't making no money, you not even having a good job. Like even if you wanted to be positive, you may not be the best representative to spread this message to the next generation. These young kids is not going through what we had to go through, like to bust a sale on the block, sit out there for countless hours and pray you make $1,000. Like these kids is scoring that plus 40. You know what I mean? So like if you gotta show him like, yo, look, there's other paths that guys like me, guys like you, we could live without stress on our back, without, them boys coming. We know probably a lot of people, but I always tell people this, especially in Coney Island. They know everybody and what they're doing. You know what I mean? Whether you say, oh, this guy's with this guy, this guy's with that guy, they know exactly what you're doing. Not everybody's going to jail, bro. There are some mistakes that are made, but not everybody. If you going to work, that's what it is. You rap, that's what you know. You do clothes, that's what you're known for. Whatever you do on your off time to attract that type of attention is what you're going to be known for. So you can't be doing a million bad things to try. You got to find that medium to where it makes sense to these young guys. Yeah, to these young guys, because the music is people be like, oh, the music is everything. No, the music is just 10%, because there's some people who listen to EDM and they just as crazy as somebody that rap. Yeah. Like you got people that crowd surf and do acid and all this depressed music. Right. Somebody got to go talk to them too. Just like I was telling people are targeting drill rappers, but you got heavy death metal. Like they coming out the gate. That is very true. They're coming out the gate screaming. True. Like it's not even no music. It's just screaming. I'm not knocking what they do, but it's the same characteristics there. It even leads to sadness and death. My thing is like when you got more guys like us advocating, strength is in numbers. So they be like, nah, he a real one. Nah, and they see you not around. You don't need this. And when you stuck in that trap, people always want to get out of it. So if you proof of getting out of it, you may not get the whole neighborhood, but you're going to have a sprinkle of people that'll tell you like, yo, I'm inspired by you, and you got to keep going.
And it's crazy because I get that a lot, with what I'm doing now. I've been through so much. I've been through the trenches, no mother, no father, 5 years in prison, come home, and everybody, they're expecting the Q life. They want me to be the street guy still, and it's like, I don't want to be that. But if I can change 5 people's lives, I did something.
Guess what? You probably inspired somebody. They be like, they watch you, when you was on that DVD time, and they be like, yo, hold up, he's not on that. In fact, he has a podcast. I want to talk my shit. When people coming home from jail talking about they want a podcast, right. A lot of them don't want to rap. They see where it's headed. They want to just talk. That's why you see all these older dudes coming home talking. It's the easiest way to get your message out there without having to go stand anywhere, And I always tell people when they be like, oh, man, I ain't going back to the fuck that. You're actually hurting it more than not. Because sometimes even in the movie City of Gods, it took that one guy to move the hood. You couldn't beat him, but in the end, that new cycle is going to wash out that thought. If you know what I mean, eventually.
Hey, look, this is a personal question. Because of what I've been through, I like to ask this question because I want to know, you know, the difference in what people go through in their lives. Did you grow up with both your parents, and what was it like?
Well, I grew up with my mom's and my stepfather. I didn't really know my father until I was like in my 20s. My stepfather was brutal.
Your mother's still alive?
Yeah, my mom's still alive. My stepfather passed away. My real father, he lives in North Carolina. You know, I built a relationship in my older years. I held a lot of anger because I'm the oldest. I have a sister and I have a brother, and they both was by my stepfather. So a lot of times things that was for them wasn't for me. So like I became an outcast by default. Like I didn't want to be in the house no more. Like I'm going outside, I'm touching it, like I'm taking long walks to the store, like little things that led me to being outside. Like those are all niches. Like it start with video games, and then now you looking and you realize things are going on that you have no clues going on. And for me, it started with a BMX bike. I want a bike.
BMX, yeah.
When I got the bike, I'm like, now I need the pegs. Now I need the pegs. Now I need the pegs in the front, pegs in the back. And then eventually it turned to cars. It's the same thing. But me, I always admired the hustlers. Like, you know, people always talk about Coney Island. We was inspired different. And this is where I'm going to show the people different. People may think it's like, oh, you know, ball players came from there. Stephon Marbury, his older brother, Lance Bassey, Isaiah Whitehead. But the truth is, a lot of people was inspired by extortioners in Coney Island. Moloch, R.P. Moloch. People know these stories. You know what I mean? People know about the 10 Thieves. People know about TF. No, they're not blood, they're not Crip. These are just individual units that caused the impact. And then, you know, then we was dealing with the apartheid of, you know, back then they were saying the racism was high, but today we don't see it as much. And now it's between the Spanish and the blacks. It took a while for the Spanish and the blacks to talk. Like this is all brand new in Coney Island. You know what I mean? So when you see artists like Nims and us, we standing in the same place. Trust me, we're making history 10 different ways. We not be like that on camera, but behind the scenes we all talk. We know we got in the next generation, and we know what's up against it because the forefathers before us, pro-black, pro-Latino. So, like, we had to get through that first because a lot of times people come to Coney Island, oh, the Rods, the Warriors. Nah, there's a bike club, there's people with vests, but I wasn't old enough to know them. You know what I mean? So I picked up warrior mentality because, one, I'm from Coney Island. It's the best way to brand my neighborhood. Two, I have a dope mentality. I read, I did all of this, you know, and I understand the pros and cons and everything. So, like, I understand it's either you're going to be a leader on a positive note, you're going to have a dream, be that illest hustler and live and die. I was just telling the young homie today, everybody who had a name can't live to say it. Or they left early in time and now they doing construction, they got a business, you know, they leading by example for the hustlers and, you know, the people that left in the 80s and early 90s, like, and then you had us. And then sometimes I think guys like our age, with all these cameras, they just want to stay away. And that's what made the next generation that's like mid-20s on down, they don't know nothing. Right. Because we didn't stick around to tell them, yo, that's not cool. We were so eager to get out of there, you know, so music became a thing, gang culture became a thing, scamming became a thing, bowling became a thing, and it's just an aggressive sport out there.
You know,
Definitely.
You know what I feel? You said something that was interesting. You said, you know, back then, pro-black and pro-Latino, I feel like what y'all doing right now, you and Gorilla Nims, I feel like that's professional. Pro comes from what? Professional.
Right.
When you got Latino, you got a black person coming together as a unity, I feel like that's professional.
Now here's the catch to that. You got people that will argue that that's still going on. But, you know, it's either I blow up about it or he blow up about it. But we don't. You know what I mean? We was like, nah, it's not like that. But it's the group of people that's around. It's always the people that's around you that will alter your decision. Right. You know what I mean? If you don't have that solid mindset, you could easily, nah, fuck them. They ain't with us because that was his blessing. That was my blessing. Right. You know what I mean?
As like when you pro-black and you pro-Latino, that's unity.
100%.
It shouldn't be separation. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to like somebody, pro-black, from our culture, we pro-black is I'm not dealing with nothing else. I'm just dealing with.
And there are people out there like that. I'm telling you, and it's like that.
You know what I call them? I call them motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, a dysfunctional human being.
Filled with hate.
Right.
Filled with hate. That's why they separate themselves from.
But not to argue, you know, that's what that famous thing, like the complexion for the connection. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where, like, some people that are talking to us are descendants and family members of Black Panther leaders, people who watch Martin Luther King walk. These are our mothers and fathers. So it's like, a lot of the times, like, if you don't have that mindset for you to look past that, you're going to embrace that.
That's
I'm got one for you right now. When you was heavy in your time, look how Blood and Crips was. They wasn't on the same block. Now today, you imagine somebody who went to jail 20 years behind that type of war. Now you talk about Wu and Cho. You mean, hold up, there's three of y'all in one thing. What is this?
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like, I'm not. We don't have
my era, man.
It was zero.
Zero, man. You know,
like, we could go to Flatbush. Coney Island could go to Flatbush.
I was on the island when it was a certain house. This is what it was. It was just either Blood or Crip. Latin King, Yeta,
or Muslim. Muslim. Now you got the now you got the beanie on and banging.
Neutral. Like, I was neutral all the time. I was neutral, but the Bloods attracted to me more. They always wanted me to come home, but I was, you know, I was sticking to my guns and I was staying myself. But that's why I got so much love. You know what I'm saying with that. So, yeah, you're right.
Even with that, like, you know what I'm saying, when you look at the leaderships that came from that era, right? It was violent.
Definitely.
Violent.
Yeah, definitely.
So today, when somebody takes a step back, they be like, yo, man, you're not really on it like that. Oh, this shit watered down. No, motherfuckers is thinking now.
Yeah, I grew. It's all about growth.
Mayor Adams is not playing with nobody.
It's like a flower. I tell everybody all the time, it's like a flower that got to blossom, man. I grew.
100%.
And I'm happy that I grew, and I'm proud of myself.
And that's the mindset that I got when people put racism, color, grind all into the same pot. That's why I be like, yo, you got to just think for a second because nobody's going to think for you.
That's right. All right, we're going to move on, right, to... I want to know who and what inspired you to do music.
I would say it was a twist because, like, it was the things my cousin used to walk in the house with made me want to be like, hold up, what's going on with this?
That's different. I never heard that. Okay.
Because, you know, he had the 8-ball jackets. He had the gold ropes. Like, he's listening to Coogee rap. He's listening to... So I'm like, who is these guys? So I'm watching Video Music Box and I'm watching Coogee rap, Big Dad King. It's symbolic, like Rakim. They're like, all these guys are shining. Every special ed got it made. Like, I studied the people that won, that became moguls as well. That's why people like, oh, Jay-Z. Sometimes I be like, yo, shout out to Nick Cannon. He got the most business out here. Like, Master P, all the whack rappers, I got more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's another thing too that I talk about a lot on my show. People are afraid to denounce or talk about a Nick Cannon because they feel like he's not the hardcore gangster rapper, so they scared.
This is what I was trying to tell you. Like, some people will call the whack rapper the guy who's not fun, the guy who understands the business. Right. So what's whack about it is probably your personality because nobody wants to. It's zero tolerance for poverty. Right. So like when I say these guys, I'm thinking about Cameron, I'm thinking about Jay, I'm thinking about Ross, I'm thinking about the guys who lived off what they loved doing and how they did it. And once I understood, I could say, yeah, DMX my top 5, Tupac, Biggie Smalls. I could say these guys, but like the people that be like, oh wow, he did that. Like today, we're watching Afro Americans make millions of dollars off of thought. Like if people really realize, like all this rap stuff is from thoughts that just came with expression and how you projected it. We all using the same words. It's just how you projected it or how you marketed it and you came off. And I salute that. So all the pioneers who like found a living, like guys like Ice Cube, you know, guys like that who's still in this game and they reinvented themselves and they able to get money from this situation. I'm inspired by that.
Yeah, definitely. What up? You now tuned in to PBN Network, Positive Beats Negative. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got D.chamberz in the building. Shout out to the sponsors, man. Jonathan's Lounge. Shout out to Crimey Dealers. And also Nonstop Publishing. We here though. We got D.chamberz in the building, man.
Salute.
You've been grinding for a long time. You know, I've been watching. You know, and I feel like you're not getting what you deserve, but then again, you are, because you know it's go both ways with that. You know
where most of my years went? I'm gonna stop you right now. Supporting others. I was always the one with the car, always the one with the good ideas, and if you was like doing what you was doing before me or ahead of me, I'll shut up. Like liaison. Like I always use him as a representative. Like when we was in Coney Island, he was the first one to bring Smack DVD to the hood. We talking about 07, 08. I was already going up north. Like by the time everybody was on these DVDs, I just knew Sycamore for the instrumentals. We was rapping on those. And you know, Zaire came to the hood and we got up on the Come Up DVD.
Yes,
and even then, yeah, I rapped, but I'm on 1 or 2 songs with Liaison on his project. That's not really pushing me. You know what I'm saying? So I think once I even when I came home, and that was like the top of 08, right? So I was like, Smack, I'm on parole, I'm watching all of these DVDs. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching Gucci Man do the dishes, all this. I'm watching it. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it, and then I'm watching Smack, and I watch Math, Snuff Dose. It's funny that on parole that same week, I wound up being in Don Hills with Liaison, Derek Jeter, Sycamore. I got invited, and I meet Math. So now Math is, you know, we took a liking to each other, pause, and then I invited him into the studio that I had in Manhattan. We had the song More Shots. So once we shot that was my first time getting on Smack DVD as D.chamberz with Math. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had songs, but now this is my song featuring Math.
Speaking of songs, I see you did a track with the legendary Method Man. How did that come about, and what was the experience like?
Yo, I'm gonna tell you it was crazy because all that happened in the pandemic. I met him at Double Barrel video shoot with Math, and I always seen him in passing. Okay. And then you know how it is. You tag, you talk, you shout him out. He actually responds. So during the pandemic, he was at like a 420 situation with China Mac, and I think he was doing whatever he was doing with China Mac, and he was like, "Wow, we don't got one." That same night, I went to the studio and had something for him. I gave it to him, emailed it. He sent me the voice note the next morning, rapping to it. And I'm like, yo,
that's epic, man.
This is great. I carved it out for him. Like, rap with a legend, salute the God in his presence. Right. You know what I mean? It was a no-brainer. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I was just listening to that today.
Yeah.
And it's another one, though, that I was listening to. It was a lot of y'all from Brooklyn on it. The Symphony or something.
Oh, the Brooklyn Symphony. Yeah, that's with Muddy Flowers.
I think that's my favorite joint. Actually, I think that's the joint that I did a side by side. You did a verse to it, but you was in a red jacket, like you just did it, spit it over real quick.
Right.
That's the one I did. I promoted that on my page, man. I love that joint.
I appreciate you for that, man. Because you know what it is? Sometimes it takes a lot for people to share something. Because sometimes you could be so focused on yourself, you don't want to give a follower, a like, nothing the extra direction.
Us, PBN Network, we about saving lives. We about helping people. Right now, as we speak, I'm going through something right now. And we just finished talking about it in the car on the way up here about how, when you're going through something. And actually, I was going to ask this question later, but now I'm going to ask it now to the people, though. Like, have you ever motivational spoken to somebody, did a speech to somebody, and you was going through that? You was going through something, you was hurt on the inside?
I feel like I go through that every day. Let me tell you why. People look for shows, but they don't look for me until I have a show. Like when dudes be, I'll have a studio session and I'll invite everybody. Like, yo, what's the name gonna be here? Pull up. Right. I watch people just go like a school of fish, wherever they going. And then I can promote like, this is not how you're supposed to move. Like, we're not supposed to be moving like this. I could say this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's almost like you have a car, but the minute you don't have a car, nobody comes to get you for the ride now. Why is everybody there already? Now you got to find yourself to get there. But sometimes I also learn in this game, you have to be 98% selfish.
I get it.
The other two, one is for your family, the other one is,
I think that's because of the way life is now. I don't think it should be like that. I feel like Now it should be because of the way things are going.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but
I just think that
what is this?
everybody's for themselves now. You can't trust anybody. Everybody's grimy.
It's cutthroat.
You gotta be like that.
It's cutthroat. Yo, listen. If we think this is now, what do you think is going to happen when they take this U.S. dollar from everybody?
It's gonna be crazy. Bro.
When they take this U.S. dollar and everything is digital, and you go to that Fed Now app, like, you know, as a hustler, you're supposed to be ahead of the curve. You're supposed to see this coming. Like, this is like from capsules to bags. Whether they go back to capsules or not, you know, something else is probably out there right now. I don't know. But you have to be ahead of the curve. Like, I'm pretty sure the hustlers didn't see the scammers. The scammers didn't see the PPP. The PPP didn't see the SBA. There's always something. And if you're not out there, you know, this is a digital warfare game. Like, I was just looking at something online just now where they had electronic forklifts. Like, y'all dudes about to be done too.
I seen it when I was in North Carolina in one of the warehouses.
You seen it? Like, I thought it was crazy.
They got the robots picking the boxes up now. So a lot of people are going to be losing jobs, like you said, and then it's going to go
toll clerks. Even with city jobs, government jobs, like this little folding paper stuff and keeping the file is done.
Did you see the car that drives itself?
The Teslas.
The Uber joint.
It's over. And this is where I tell people right now, that's why I think history repeats itself over and over. It's like, if you don't educate yourself to be ahead of the curve, you're gonna be behind it, like drastically. Yeah. Like if you look at all the old movies, things is happening now. It's like it's happening now. The people laugh and joke about The Simpsons, but the signs was there. Now, like with today, like with the eye recognition, the you know, some people say in China you can put your hand over, so there ain't gonna be no more scamming. It's gonna be your hand in the account. So I'm watching everybody at all these commercials promoting get your EIN number, get your LLC. Why they keep pumping this out? Because this is the only way you're gonna eat. It's having your own business. It ain't, yo, shout out to everybody that sell bud and stuff like that. The smoke shops is just gonna treat dudes like how everybody's with carton of cigarettes outside. Everybody that had carton of cigarettes thought they was gonna be there forever.
Yeah, he's speaking. Hey, listen, man.
I'm telling you, I came from the hustler. We gonna talk the hustler term because it's just like I watched dudes who had cartons of cigarettes in the trunk. They was big white gold chains. As soon as the stores was like, yo, he's in front of my store with the bogeys. Yeah. He's out of here.
I was on Parsons and Archer. Shout out to the P&A boys, man, my guys, man. I was, I started from $1. I remember one time getting a Lucy, flipping that pack, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then getting to the bud, that's how it went.
We see people, I want to see my guys frustrated because they don't got an EIN number. Yeah. And they be figuring out, like, how all these dudes on the social media
getting paid
money and all that. Or you could get money on these social.
I started getting money off of Instagram for my reels, and it was like the dudes who's.
I learned late once again because we wasn't taught that. Yeah, we was taught hand over fist, bag this, chop this, count this. Right. You don't put this back, you won't get this back. Today, that law exists, but on a higher scale for other people. The smaller food chain, they're telling you take that money, create a business, get a loan, good luck. That's what it is. And even for me and even for you, if we walk out of here and we bullshit with this information, we going to be outside laying on the floor telling old school stories too. Like, you know what I mean? And we probably won't be able to lay on the floor in the next couple of years. It's over.
Yeah, so D.chamberz, we going to switch it up a little bit right now, for the ladies.
Okay.
Because I think females want to know, like, are you married or are you single?
I've been engaged. I'm engaged.
Okay, that's what's up.
The reason why I say been engaged and engaged is because I tried the first time and my mindset wasn't there. And wound up getting the ring thrown back at me. Same lady, because sometimes that DMX thing, you let it go, come back, it's yours. Okay. That's that. She held me down on my bed. I came home. No matter how fucked up I am out there, whatever I do, whatever, I still try to make it right because I wanted to make sure my daughter grow up with both parents. Some people might say, oh, that's an unhealthy way of thinking. I think it's a good way of thinking because sometimes you got to fight through shit, no matter what. And the devil worked 24 hours.
He definitely does.
In this industry.
Definitely does.
And you know what I mean? And I'm going to tell the brothers something that's real. You know what I mean? One thing about this industry is that sometimes you're always going to find a person that take all your flaws, all your likings, whatever. They may not really love you, but what they will respect you for is your honesty. I'll leave it at that.
That's a fact. Well, shout out to that lady, you know, and to y'all on you know, y'all history, your future.
Right.
Because right now,
like I said, I wasn't the best guy. I fucked up, you know, a few times, but the thing was, like, sometimes you gotta realize what's really out there. And I feel sorry for the next generation because there's no loyalty at all out here. That's what I see more than anything.
Right now, for somebody to be ready to get married and things like that, that's a blessing because it's hard to find that. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I'm in the mix of trying to find real love, and I can't. I swear, I've been through.
You want to hear something? It might be your best friend. You just may never looked at it. It may not even been a thing like that. It's a woman that you cool with, you converse with, she know all your flaws. She's out there, and like I tell you, sometimes the word they use today for cheating is vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of good vibes, but when you really mask all that down, you be like, hold on. Certain women, they're very independent today, so their actions are justified by whatever they want to do just because they single, but they don't understand. We all auditioning. Like, for girls, they hate to see a guy talk to 1,000 females. For guys, we hate to see a girl we want naked, always on the gram, twerking every night, like drinking, party harder than me. Like, hold up, like I'd rather go home. It's just simple. Like,
ask you a question: is the vibe an appetizer or the vibe is an actual full course?
I'll be honest with you, that shit is fucking smoke and mirrors, all of it.
That appetizer.
Yeah, that shit is the shit that's there with when they give you the water. Like, you looking at it, you're like, yo, I want this, I want that, I want this, but you really want what you always used to.
I'm not gonna ask you the next question. I'm gonna skip that, being that you are engaged right now. We're gonna skip it.
I was just curious, what was it?
I mean, it ain't nothing that. It ain't that bad. It's just I feel like it's not. So, what's your female preference and your dream girl?
I mean, it's always going to be educated, classy, some humor. Don't be a Shelby.
Okay.
You know what Shelby is from The Best Man, the girl that was annoying. Yeah, like you too professional. Relax.
Yeah.
Stop trying to judge me. Don't try to fix me. I'm not that guy to try to fix overnight.
Nowadays, our women and our men are so much divided. Why do you think that in our culture, our women and men are so divided? Because
they demasculated men. and I'll be honest with you, sometimes our flaws are all there too. Sometimes we get too comfortable with what we got, right? But a lot of times you have the hustler, and that's why I remember I was in South Carolina telling my own door. And the old timer told me, he's like, yo, the working man will always be the hustler. I'm like, why is that? He said, when the guy works, he could go home and relax. He could go home at 8 o'clock. A hustler is always in the street. It's never going to be, you may think it is, but you're going to miss things and you're going to fuck around and fuck up. So I say that with that is some of us get lost in playing 2K. Some of us are hustling too much. Some of us don't know how to balance.
2K, y'all. You see what 2K do? Come on, man.
Yo,
in trouble,
it's
man.
So
2K really getting people in trouble?
If you live, you know how long is one game, bro? I don't even care if you put it on 4 minutes.
That's a fact. It's still,
you talk about pause, you smoking, you arguing, like. You losing 30 minutes at a time.
Talking junk with the other player.
Now you pausing. Now you want the rematch. You there for another.
In the back waiting for you.
You watch the sun go down and damn near come up. Like I'll be honest with you. Like whether it's
Mo,
it's facts.
You agree? Cause you be playing that game.
I'm not attacking. Listen. Let me just say something. All right.
I'm just messing.
On parole, I was guilty as charged. But I realized how long niggas won't leave the crib long as that game on.
That's a fact.
The game on?
Somebody you posted something like that, or somebody posted something about that. Like somebody come home from jail, and this dude was like, and then they showed the game, and then they showed a girl beefing or something.
Believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to you asked the question why they made it so playable, the games that they made, because believe it or not, they make it for disabled people.
Right.
People that can't work no more. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Loss of enjoyment.
Your loss of their legs. They can't move their legs no more. I saw there's videos on YouTube where the person who got their hands or they got their feet and they playing with their mouth, but they get paid from this because they nice.
I got one really for you. And I understand and I sympathize with everybody. Right. But there's more people that has both their legs. And
that's playing the game. Millions.
Like,
gamers right now making millions off of this.
Some dudes are just ducking action, so they don't want to go outside.
True,
so they stay in the house.
That's another one.
A lot of times dudes go on the run or something like that. They learn to play video games. Like, you know what I mean? But a lot of the times, right, this is where I got off the boat, right? Once they put games in career mode, like, what are we doing, man? Like, I'm not career mode. Like, we talk about a nigga that came from double dribble, NBA Jam.
Double dribble.
One shot, all they do, everybody good. But my thing is like this. Once they took Fight Night out, I was like, all right, it's no boxing. I'm not gonna sit here and play X-Men all day. Like, I'm going down the list. Right. And I'm a gamer. I used to be like that because I just be like, I get intrigued by how to figure shit out. If I can score five times in a row and win, I feel like, all right, I'm just the same as y'all. But the problem is you losing minutes out the day. Right. That is the problem. You know what I mean? And when you lose minutes out the day, your brain get diluted. You know, but I tell people like this, Grand Theft Auto taught people how to use GPS. People may not even look at it like that. When that game first came out, it was just the GPS. You got to be like, oh, where's the green dot? Are you sitting there all day?
I didn't even have the. It's crazy because you know me, Mo. I don't have the patience for that.
I was off the boat. Call of Duty. I got to turn around. I got to do this. Like, I'm getting shot from God. Nah,
this little bit is moving fast. Hold on.
And that's over. And then once I realized, like, it was just time consuming. It's just too. I don't knock it. I just think if your life is in order, cool. But if your life is not in order, you can't be sitting there for 3-4 hours doing nothing.
Yeah, we back. We back with another episode, man. PBN Network, positive beats negative, man. It's grind time, no demon time. Y'all already know the slogan. More knowledge, what's your slogan?
Knock, knock, who's there? True custodian, warrior, washing up negativity, all about positivity. Grind time, no demon time. We got our brother D.chamberz in the building.
Salute.
I salute you for rotating through.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. Right, appreciate that.
Definitely, man. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Follow on Instagram. Y'all already know what it is, man. Nothing but positivity over here. Nothing but positivity, man. When you bring that negative thing my way, y'all already know I'm shutting it down. So we're going to get to this question real quick for D.chamberz, right? What's the most positive thing about yourself?
See how God works?
Wait, what was that? Them? That's them?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, so we got to do it again, right?
Yo.
You got to keep that, nigga. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. I just closed my eyes and it. Shit just shut down. This is what it is, nigga. Darkness. Now let me stop now. Niggas said no demon time. What?
Right. Yo, real rapper.
No, that happened. But I would say
the most positive thing about yourself.
One, I didn't give up. Two, I didn't let the happiness of others dictate mine.
Okay.
Three, I done switched the mindset of that corner boy hustler into this industry. Because I really, when Nas said it, this rap game reminded me of the crack game, it simplified it for me. Right. Nobody's taking you to the plug. They'll take your money. Give it to them. You're going to get the work, but you're not going to get all the work. You're going to get this spoon fed through me, through him. And if you meet him, I'm not fucking with you no more.
Wow.
So I think that me being open-minded to working with people, helping people, and not giving up and be willing to work with others is what I'm here for.
That's a great thing.
You know what I'm saying? I met you like 2014. You butter.
Wow, Zayak Studio. I was on parole that whole time. Like I was there with him when I was on Rogers, when he was on 102 Rogers, and then
We talked about that too.
yeah. So like me, I watched him, and I'm sitting here saying that I watch him. He was I would say like a Professor X. You know why? Like if you watch X-Men, you know, because he knows how this system works. But sometimes you could be the Riddler in the Batman movie.
Yeah,
sometimes you know too much. Right. You're like, yo, Bruce Wayne is Batman. Niggas like, man, shut up, man. Nobody want to hear. Nobody believe you. but you're speaking facts. So sometimes he was always promoting like owning your own stuff, creating your own platforms. You don't need the majors. Then you go outside, you see everybody else winning from the majors. You see like things like that happening, and then you go back, you will realize his system's still working.
Right.
And a lot of the people who took those shortcuts are coming back to look at the same walls that they left.
It's a fact. So with that being said, this might sound crazy, but what's the most negative thing about yourself? I'm gonna tell you why I asked you.
I'm gonna tell you what I think the negative thing about myself. I think I don't let past experiences dictate my new ones, but I could be a little shelled off before I decide to work with anybody. I keep it right at 0. Like it ain't 100. I don't got nothing for you because I know what it's like when people just you could do for everybody and they don't do nothing for you. So it has to make sense for me one way or another, and then I have to learn to adjust or like what it is about the person or whatever he got to offer. It has to be equal. But if you read books like The Art of Seduction, it'll tell you how everybody has multiple characteristics. And sometimes being a professor and a star is the weakest one. Why? Because you always willing to teach somebody.
Right.
A star stays eye to eye with a star. That's why when these dudes, they be in the club, you could be a millionaire just like this, but they wouldn't believe it.
Right.
When you come in there, Trump, you got 50 bottles coming, now it's like, hold up, he's up here with us? They're vulnerable to a conversation. So like a lot of the books I read taught me on how to avoid the negative reaction. But sometimes it's bad because I can see it coming and still let it happen. That's my negative to me. Like I could be like, yo, I know this dude gonna do this and do that, and it may look good, and then before you know it, the signs are there.
Right. Wow. Yeah, we asked that because it's called positive beats negative. So we gotta get the positive point of view and the negative point of view. So,
yeah, the negative point of view. Sometimes some people live off the negative. Some people live off not fucking with nobody. I don't fuck with that nigga. Damn, son, you just was with him. Right? You just with him. You know what I mean? And then sometimes it's like that. You're in denial because you get to link up with them or you smoke and drink with them. That's why it's like when people be at these award shows, they be red carpets, they be in certain studio sessions, and you're not there. Why? Because you thought it was like that. And it's not. You better get your shit together and don't look back.
I wanna get into real quick. I want to get into a little bit more about the music, man, because you putting in work, man, and I want to see you succeed, and I want to see you prosper, right? What's the next move for D.chamberz when it comes to music? Because I noticed, like I said, you did the song with Meth. Mm-hmm. You also got a song with
Benny the Butcher,
and
Uncle Murder,
yeah,
Fred the Godson, Chinks Drugs. I got a discography, man, and it's weird. I'm gonna tell you the crazy thing is like to know Chinks Drugs died. Fred the Godson died. I was like mind blown. Like in the back of my head, it's just like these are peers that you're like, oh, my man on. And this is the guy that calls you. Like I could have called Fred. Fred be like, yo, just meet me in front. I'll be there. You know what I mean?
I gotta take off my shades for this one because, R.I.P. to all of the fallen soldiers. It's tragedies that are going on in life right now that are so real and detrimental to us because, like you said, you even doing songs with these people and now they're gone and these are people that you could have called. So, but everything happens for a reason. And that's why you're here right now. I wanted to, the first thing we was like, we're going to start something new. We're going to do this. And the first person we thought about was you.
Appreciate that.
I've been watching you. You putting in work. And I saw somebody on the internet. I don't know if it was on Instagram or not. They put out something. If it was somebody, they put something out about you. And they said, this guy right here deserves his flowers. This guy's been working for a long time. I don't know who it was.
A lot of people are catching on now. And I think it's more now. But see, this is the part that people remember, so I'll give them a timeline. For the first 4 years, me coming home from jail, people didn't know if I battle rapped or did music. Right. That was a big, bad stigma. It was good and it was bad because people respected me being in the culture of hip-hop, saying, yo, this is where you got to come up from. Like, you got to know your bars. You got to be competitive. But sometimes you could get lost in that.
Yeah.
Every time somebody dish you got 4 dish records for this guy and the face off.
Yeah.
So when I kind of like, I didn't walk away because I still talked to Smack. His birthday was the other day. But when I started working
Shout out
on
to
me,
Smack, my brother Smack, man.
when I started working on me, it felt like I was back in the desert again.
Okay.
Because most battle rap artists are not caring if radio is playing their music. They don't care if their music is in the club. They just want the respect for the artistry. I get it. Me, I want to, but how Jay said it, right. I want to rap like the Roots, but I got bills through the roof. Like, and that was where my mindset was at. So once I had started learning how to be in these clubs, getting self to break the record, being annoyed, I'm tired of being, that's the nigga from Smack. Yo, what's the name? Punch this dude. Yo, your man Math be bugging. Why all the time is like either Math or Core or Hollow? I don't battle rap, bro.
Shout out to Math too. We interviewed Math on, but not here at on our online. Virtual online.
We all found a way because we all they painted us as bullies to where we was damn near blackballed too. Yeah. Like, because sometimes you could be too real.
Me and Shay Davis was blackballed too.
Yeah, you could be mildly blackballed, but the truth is you just got to just stick to the script, bro, and that's it.
Speaking of people that passed away, I want to send my deepest condolences to Gilly the Kid, his family, and Cheese, R.I.P. Cheese, man. I think that's. We took a big fall right there with that one. What do you think about what's going on with that right now? Where people on the internet are like trying to blame Gilly the Kid for his son's death. I don't understand what's going on with that. Why are they saying that?
That's above my pay grade. You know what I'm saying? That's above my pay grade. I don't even want to laugh about it, but I'm gonna tell you what's the sad part about it. It goes back to what I was saying, where it depends who you're around. Where's your leadership at? Like. Real people would tell you this is not a laughing matter. That's one. Right. 2, you can't speak on things. 3, I could tell you where a lot of the confusion come in. You got people that's drawing away, mid-30s, going into their 40s, 50. Remember, this the only industry where they slap an age on you for doing music. You got rock and roll guys damn near 89 with an electric guitar and people passing out for them. This industry is like a young sport for boxers musically. Now, there are people who's saying like he should have spent time with his son, but you don't know if he was or not. Some people would say like if you preach family, then give all this up for your family. Like do the right thing, be there all the way down. And there's people who believe in that, and then there's some people be like, yo, this is how I eat. This is how I provide for my family so he could continue doing what he's doing. Right. So if you're not in this industry to like chase a dream and provide for your family through this dream, you're not going to understand it. Because some people would tell you to quit now and go work at the post office. Right. Go to Home Depot. They got pensions and shit over there now. And then sometimes you don't want to be the middle-aged guy just getting on a construction site either. Right. Because then you're going to have to work till you 70, 75 before you even get an annuity. Definitely. So sometimes I think the absence is why people are speaking on any death situation that comes with entertainers. Because I'll say it for myself, we are absent out of our children's lives until it's like ceremonies, birthdays. If you're not making it there for that, then you're just a piece of shit. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? I'll say what it is. Like, I done sat in everything, art ceremonies, ballet classes, you name it. It ain't that busy. But sometimes you can see the red flags in things as a parent, and you could attack it. Or you could choose to ignore it, and then when something happens, people will look at you for it.
Definitely.
What's not adding up when it comes to you getting to know a new rapper?
I know all of them.
When it comes to mental health, you recognize mental health within a new rapper that you just meet. How do you handle their mental health situation? And they undeniable, and they don't even say they got mental health.
Sometimes it's how you deliver the package. You can't come in with the bow tie, bro. Sometimes you gotta come in a joke. Like, yo, man, you look the same last week. You ain't get no rest. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can't be like, yo, nigga, you look tired. You see the difference in that? Yeah. You look washed up, bro. And then you got the guy that just come around jokes all day. He wound up murdering him. Mm-hmm. You come back and fire him. You don't even know why he did that because his mind is already zero tolerance already. But it's just how you package it.
Right. I got 5 boys.
Okay.
And
all in New York?
not all in New York.
Okay.
2 in New York, 2 in PA, and 1 is in North Carolina now. My oldest is in North Carolina, you know. And I teach and I try to guide my kids the right way. I can only do but so much, right? You know, especially you know when your kid is older, when they're a grown man and they think they could, sometimes they gotta. Oh yeah, it's over. Now we gonna.
I'm telling you, the devil working.
Yeah, he working with. You know, and with me guiding my kids the right way, sometimes you know I can tell them right. But if my oldest son winds up doing something and going to jail, at least I know that I did try to guide him the right way. We can't control every moment of their lives. We're not there all the time. So we can tell him this, and then he can do something.
Look how this industry works, right? You see how they just try to crucify Gilly, right? Or just try to speak on something that they really don't know. He probably was with his son, probably sent him bread. We don't know this. Same thing with Little Boozie's son. Same thing with T.I.'s son. Right. Same thing. Like, people just want something to talk about, and who's crazy enough to bring it up. Right. Sometimes people don't know what's going on until it happens to them. I'll leave it at that.
All right, so now that we're on positive beats negative, I got another positive beats negative question for you. What would you rather, if you had a chance, an option to be one of the richest preachers? What if you can be a preacher, right, and be rich and be a preacher, or would you rather be a drug dealer and rich? Which one would you choose?
That's crazy because they both rich mentally,
that's why I asked the
and
question.
they both could be rich in their own mindset. Because at the end of the day, the preacher's taking them offerings. That's a fact. He's getting them offerings. No. So it's either you going to bag and sell something, or you going to pass that hat around the whole church.
Which one do you choose though? Which one? You have to choose one right now. Which one do you rather?
I'll be honest with you. I would definitely say the preacher, and I'm gonna tell you why the preacher. Because history has shown drug dealers don't live long. Much as we love Tony and Manolo, you know, they had one dude swinging from a helicopter. This man can't do nothing.
Right.
Just the plug.
It's fact.
You see, this guy is a piece of shit. This is your man. He just came out the car with you. There's no love in that shit. Greed is in that shit. Lust, hate, women, all of that is in there. Yeah. The pastor, they're going to just come to him. Pastor, I need to talk to you.
That's right. No, that's a fact.
They're not coming to you with hate. Like, yo, there's only one pastor that got robbed in this whole biblical history.
Yeah, Bishop.
And that's only because he played with the mindset of a drug dealer's lifestyle.
That's right.
You got Gucci down, you in the drop top with this. Like, I don't know you're a preacher. You know what I mean? I know he is. You know what I mean? He definitely, now in hindsight, I'll say, yeah, he tried to do walks, unity walks. He supported all nonprofit organizations. He was trying to run. I get it. But if you got more Jews on than Fabio, something's wrong here. But that's just, we wasn't taught to see a jeweler shining. Like in the South, in South Carolina, they may have a nice Cadillac. They may have a nice Lincoln.
Right. But
he owned the church. He got a nice house. He's not too materialistic, and he's giving like words of wisdom always. And so sometimes that could be the blessing, and nobody want to see nothing happen to the pastor unless he's knocking off the whole church.
Right. Yeah, that definitely is the blessing. That's definitely the blessing, man. You know, like that's the path that I chose. You know, just growth. I want to change lives, change myself. Like you said, there's times where I'm going through something and I'll put something out on Instagram and I'm putting it out because it's what I'm going through, not just what you're going through, you know? And I think that's great when we can come together. Some people say that it'll never happen. See, when you have that mind frame, that's the reason why it won't happen. It's because we all feel like it's not.
I'll be contradicting myself.
Words are spells.
Words are spells.
So if you say, oh, black people are never going to unite, then we're not, because words are spells. You keep saying it.
And not to mention, to piggyback on what we were just saying, I'll be contradicting myself. If I ain't had to sell drugs all these years, only thing I wasn't was a preacher. So why not try something new? You know what I mean? Sometimes a leader has to go through the worst stuff. A preacher is not, he just didn't come out baptized if he's a preacher. Exactly. He did time, he got through war wounds to test. They converted him. I have my own ways about what my thoughts on that. But, shout out to Malcolm X.
A lot of leaders that, you know what I mean, were in the
His own people killed him, and that's the only thing I didn't like.
Yeah, y'all. So, you know, we here with D.chamberz, man.
Salute.
Great interview, man. Great talk with you. What is it, before we leave, what do you want to tell a youngin' right now that's trying to be an artist? What's some advice that you could give them?
Know the business. Know your value. And don't second guess your first thought.
All right. With that being said, man, we out of here. PBN Network, Street Guy Turned Positive, Q Life, Grind Time, No Demon Time. Stay tuned for the new episode. Y'all already know what it is. We out.